Somewhere over the eastern Mediterranean, long after midnight, radar screens began to change. Not dramatically, not all at once, just small, fast-moving signatures appearing where moments earlier there had been empty sky. Within minutes, Israeli air defense networks were fully alert. Operators leaned forward, algorithms recalculated trajectories, because what was now unfolding was not a routine drone incursion or a single rocket launch. This was something heavier, faster, and far more consequential. Iranian ballistic missiles were on the way toward Tel Aviv, and Israel's multi-layered air defense architecture was about to face one of its most serious real-world stress tests in years. To understand why this moment matters, you have to step back from the noise of headlines and look at the strategic architecture behind it. For more than a decade, the confrontation between Israel and Iran has evolved into a shadow conflict defined by distance, proxies, cyber operations, and carefully calibrated strikes. Direct state-to-state missile exchanges were long considered escalatory territory both sides preferred to avoid. But military doctrines are not static. They evolve under pressure. And by early 2026, the pressure across the Middle East had been steadily building, operationally, politically, and psychologically. Iran's missile program has always occupied a central place in its deterrence strategy. Unlike global powers with extensive overseas bases or large blue water navies, Tehran invested heavily in long-range strike systems designed to impose cost at distance. Over the past 2 decades, that investment produced a layered missile inventory, solid-fuel ballistic missiles, maneuvering re-entry vehicles, and increasingly sophisticated guidance packages. The logic was straightforward but powerful: survivability through mobility and deterrence through reach. When launchers can disperse across vast terrain and missiles can travel thousands of kilometers in minutes, the defensive burden shifts heavily onto the opponent. Israel, for its part, built perhaps the most dense and technologically advanced missile defense network in the world. The architecture is layered by design. Iron Dome handles short-range rockets. David's Sling addresses medium-range threats. Arrow 2 and Arrow 3 are tasked with high-altitude ballistic interception. On paper, it is an elegant solution, a stacked shield designed to thin incoming salvos at multiple engagement windows. But paper architecture and real saturation conditions are never quite the same thing. Missile defense is ultimately a contest of timing, tracking, interceptor inventory, and decision speed under pressure. As the first Iranian missiles climbed through boost phase, early warning systems would have detected the launches within seconds. Infrared satellites, long-range radar arrays, and regional sensors all feed into Israel's battle management network. From that moment forward, the clock compresses brutally. A medium-range ballistic missile can cover the distance between western Iran and Israel in roughly 10 to 12 minutes, depending on trajectory. That leaves very little room for hesitation. Identification must be rapid, interceptor assignment must be precise, and command authority must remain clear despite the fog of real-time uncertainty. What makes the RS class and related Iranian missile families particularly challenging is not just range, but potential payload configuration and flight behavior. Many modern systems are designed with countermeasures in mind: decoys, maneuvering re-entry vehicles, and depressed trajectories that complicate radar tracking. Even small variations in flight path can stress defensive calculations, and when multiple missiles arrive in staggered waves, the defensive problem becomes exponentially harder. It is not only about whether a system can intercept one missile, it is about whether it can sustain performance under repeated, time-compressed engagements. Initial reports suggested Israeli defenses were activated quickly, which is consistent with the country's long-standing high readiness posture. Interceptor launches were visible in several areas, streaking upward to meet incoming threats. In many previous engagements, Israel's layered system has demonstrated high success rates, particularly against limited salvos. But military planners never assume perfection. Even the most advanced missile defense system in the world operates on probability curves, not guarantees. A single leak-through, one missile that evades or overwhelms defenses, can have outsized strategic and psychological impact. This is why both sides understand that missile exchanges are never purely tactical events. They are signals. Iran's willingness to launch ballistic missiles toward Israeli territory communicates reach and resolve. Israel's ability to intercept communicates technological competence and defensive credibility. Each side is effectively testing not only hardware, but perception, because in deterrence dynamics, perception often matters as much as physics. Another layer of complexity comes from geography. Israel is a relatively small country with highly concentrated urban and economic centers. That density magnifies the stakes of missile defense performance. Even limited damage near major metropolitan areas can ripple through financial markets, civil defense systems, and public confidence. This is precisely why Israel invested so heavily in early warning networks, hardened infrastructure, and rapid civil alert protocols. Sirens, shelter systems, and automated alerts are not secondary features. They are integral components of national survivability planning. From Tehran's strategic viewpoint, ballistic missile signaling serves multiple purposes simultaneously. It demonstrates that long-range deterrence forces remain operational despite sanctions and pressure. It reinforces domestic narratives of technological self-reliance, and it complicates adversary planning by forcing continuous defensive vigilance. Importantly, missile launches also operate below the threshold of full-scale war when carefully calibrated. This gray zone space, more intense than proxy conflict, but short of sustained conventional war, is where much of modern state competition now unfolds. International reaction began almost immediately. Diplomatic channels moved quickly to call for restraint. Energy markets showed early volatility, reflecting persistent fears about regional escalation and potential disruption to critical shipping lanes. Military analysts across multiple countries started parsing launch numbers, interception claims, and impact reports, knowing that early battlefield information is often incomplete and sometimes contradictory. In fast-moving missile events, the first 24 hours are usually dominated by fog, partial data, conflicting imagery, and evolving official statements. One critical factor experts are watching closely is interceptor expenditure. Missile defense is not just about capability, it's also about inventory depth. Interceptors are expensive, and large-scale salvos can impose significant logistical strain, even when interception rates remain high. This dynamic, sometimes called the cost exchange ratio, has long concerned defense planners worldwide. Offensive ballistic missiles are often cheaper to produce than the interceptors designed to stop them. Over time, sustained exchanges can become a contest of industrial endurance as much as technological performance. There is also the question of escalation management. Neither Iran nor Israel benefits from uncontrolled regional war, yet both maintain doctrines that emphasize credible retaliation. That creates a narrow and dangerous corridor where signaling must be strong enough to deter, but controlled enough to avoid triggering uncontrollable escalator ladders. History shows that miscalculation often occurs when actors do not seek war, but when they attempt to manage pressure under incomplete information. For Israel's air defense community, events like this function as real-world validation exercises that no simulation can fully replicate. Live ballistic engagements reveal friction points, sensor fusion timing, interceptor allocation efficiency, command latency that only appear under operational stress. Even successful interceptions generate valuable data for future system refinement. Modern missile defense is iterative by necessity. Every engagement becomes a feedback loop. For Iran, the demonstration of reach reinforces a strategic message that has been consistent for years. Geographic distance alone does not guarantee immunity. The emphasis on mobile launch platforms, solid fuel readiness, and diversified missile families reflects a doctrine built around survivable second strike credibility at the regional level. Whether one agrees with the strategy or not, the technical trajectory of Iran's missile program has clearly moved toward greater sophistication over time. As dawn approached, attention began shifting from the launches themselves to the broader strategic picture. Would this remain a contained exchange or mark the beginning of a more dangerous cycle of action and reaction? Historically, the Middle East has seen both patterns: rapid escalation spirals and equally sudden de-escalation under international pressure. Much depends on political signaling in the hours and days that follow kinetic events. What is already clear is that missile defense, once considered a niche technical field, now sits at the center of modern regional deterrence. The era when geography alone provided strategic depth is fading. Precision missiles, mobile launchers, and layered defenses have compressed both time and space in contemporary conflict calculations. Decision windows are shorter, warning time